Listen, I need to talk to you about something that might surprise you. I've been a doctor for over 20 years now, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen seniors come into my office with the same problems. And when we dig deeper, we find out they're eating what they think is healthy food. But here's the thing. What's healthy at 40 might not be so healthy at 65. So let me get straight to the point. That whole grain bread you've been eating every morning? Those bran muffins? All that high-fiber cereal you've been told is so good for you? Well, after 65, you need to be really careful with them. And let me tell you why. Now, don't get me wrong. Fiber is important. We've all heard that for years, right? Your whole life, doctors have been telling you to eat more fiber, more whole grains, more of this roughage. And for most of your adult life, that advice was spot on. But here's what they don't tell you. Your digestive system changes as you age. It's not the same powerhouse it was when you were younger. Think about it this way. When you're in your 30s or 40s, your gut is like a brand new garbage disposal. It can handle anything you throw at it. But by the time you hit 65, 70, it's more like an older machine that needs a little more care, a little more consideration. You can't just throw everything down there and expect it to work the same way. What happens is this. As we age, our digestive tract naturally slows down. The muscles that move food through your intestines don't contract as strongly as they used to. Your stomach doesn't produce as much acid. Your pancreas doesn't make as many digestive enzymes. All of these things together mean that high-fiber foods, especially those really tough, insoluble fibers in whole grains, can actually cause more problems than they solve. I see it all the time. Seniors come in complaining about bloating, gas, stomach pain, constipation. Yes, constipation, even though they're eating all this fiber. And sometimes even bowel obstructions. And when I ask them what they're eating, 9 times out of 10, they tell me they're loading up on bran cereal, whole wheat bread, and all these high-fiber foods because that's what they think they should be doing. But here's the real kicker. When you eat too much of this rough, insoluble fiber and your digestive system can't handle it properly, it actually prevents you from absorbing the nutrients you need. And at 65 plus, you need those nutrients more than ever. Your body isn't as efficient at absorbing vitamins and minerals anymore, so the last thing you need is a bunch of fiber blocking what little absorption you have left. Let me give you a real example. I had a patient, lovely woman, 72 years old, came in because she was feeling weak and tired all the time. Her blood work showed she was anemic and low in several key vitamins. We went through her diet, and she was eating what looked like a super healthy diet on paper. Oatmeal with bran for breakfast, whole wheat sandwich for lunch, brown rice and vegetables for dinner. Lots of salad. Lots of raw vegetables. The problem was, all that fiber was essentially sweeping through her system so fast and creating such a barrier that her body couldn't pull out the iron, the B vitamins, the minerals she needed. Once we adjusted her diet, brought down the fiber content, made sure she was eating foods that were easier to digest, her numbers started coming back up. She got her energy back. She felt like herself again. Now, I'm not saying you should cut out fiber completely. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, you need to be smarter about it. You need to understand that the recommendations that work for a 30-year-old don't necessarily work for someone over 65. Here's what I recommend to my senior patients. First, switch from those really rough, high-fiber grains to gentler options. Instead of bran cereal, try oatmeal, but regular oatmeal, not the super high-fiber kind loaded with extra bran. Instead of dense whole wheat bread, maybe try sourdough or a lighter whole grain that's been processed a bit more. Your digestive system will thank you. Second, and this is really important, cook your vegetables. I know. Everyone's been telling you that raw vegetables are healthier because they have more nutrients, and that's true for younger people. But for seniors, the benefit of having cooked, Easier to digest vegetables that your body can actually absorb far outweighs having raw vegetables that just pass right through you. Steam them, roast them, sauté them, make them soft. Make them easy on your gut. Third, pay attention to how you feel. This is crucial. Your body is smart. It's telling you things all the time. If you eat something and you feel bloated, gassy, uncomfortable, or you're running to the bathroom, that's your body saying, "Hey, I can't handle this anymore." Listen to it. Don't just push through because you think you're supposed to eat that way. And here's something else that might surprise you. All that low-fat, fat-free stuff that's been pushed for decades? A lot of seniors actually need more healthy fats in their diet, not less. Healthy fats help with nutrient absorption, they're good for your brain, they help with hormone production, and they make you feel full and satisfied. So that fat-free yogurt loaded with extra fiber to make up for the taste? That might actually be one of the worst things you could eat. I also want to talk about fruit juice and smoothies for a second, because a lot of seniors think they're being healthy by drinking these. But here's the problem. When you juice fruits or blend them up with a bunch of raw vegetables and seeds and high-fiber add-ins, you're creating this concentrated fiber bomb that hits your digestive system all at once. For a younger person, maybe that's fine. For someone over 65 with a slower digestive system, it can cause cramping, bloating, and rapid bowel movements that aren't actually helping you. Better to eat a piece of cooked fruit or a small portion of fresh fruit with some protein or fat to slow down the digestion. Your blood sugar will be more stable, your gut will be happier, and you'll actually absorb the vitamins in that fruit. Now, let me address something I hear a lot. People say, "But doctor, my grandmother lived to 95, and she ate whole grain bread every day." And that might be true. But here's what you have to remember. Every person is different. Some people have cast iron stomachs their whole lives. But most people don't. Most people's digestive systems slow down, become more sensitive, and need adjusting as they age. Also, the whole grain bread your grandmother ate 50 years ago is not the same as what's in stores today. A lot of modern whole grain products are loaded with extra fiber, extra bran, seeds, nuts, and all kinds of things that make them even harder to digest. It's not your grandmother's bread anymore. So what should you eat? Focus on easily digestible proteins like eggs, fish, chicken, maybe some lean beef if you tolerate it. Eat cooked vegetables in moderate amounts. Have some white rice or pasta if your blood sugar can handle it. They're easier to digest than brown rice and whole wheat pasta. Include healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, fatty fish. Have some dairy if you can tolerate it, or calcium-fortified alternatives if you can't. And yes, have some fiber, but be smart about it. Get it from cooked vegetables, from fruits, from moderate amounts of whole grains that don't tear up your stomach. You don't need 30 or 40 grams of fiber a day like they recommend for younger adults. For most seniors, 15 to 20 grams is plenty, and it should come from gentle sources. The bottom line is this: nutrition advice is not one size fits all, and it's certainly not one age fits all. What works at 30 doesn't work at 65. Your body has changed, your needs have changed, and your diet needs to change with it. Don't fall for these headlines and trends that tell everyone to eat the same way regardless of age. Listen to your body. Work with your doctor. Get your blood work done regularly to make sure you're not deficient in anything. And don't be afraid to adjust your diet based on how you actually feel, not just on what some article told you was healthy. Your goal after 65 isn't to have the most fiber in your diet or to eat the roughest, toughest foods. Your goal is to nourish your body with foods that it can actually use, that make you feel good, that give you energy, and that support your health for whatever years you have ahead of you. So take a look at what you're eating. If you're loading up on bran, whole grains, and all this high-fiber stuff because you think you should be, maybe it's time to reconsider. Maybe it's time to give your digestive system a break and feed it something it can actually handle. Trust me, your gut will thank you, your energy levels will improve, and you might just feel a whole lot better overall. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Take care of yourselves, and remember, healthy eating means eating in a way that works for your body at your age. Stay well. But you know what? I want to go deeper into this because I think there's more you need to know. Let me tell you about some other so-called healthy foods that can actually cause problems after 65, and why the whole approach to senior nutrition needs a complete rethink. Let's talk about protein bars and protein shakes for a minute. I see so many seniors buying these things because they've heard they need more protein as they age, which is absolutely true. But here's the problem. Most of these products are loaded with fiber additives, sugar alcohols, and all kinds of processed ingredients that your aging digestive system just cannot handle properly. I had a gentleman, 78 years old, who started drinking 2 protein shakes a day because his daughter told him he needed more protein. Within 2 weeks, he was having terrible diarrhea, stomach cramps, and he'd lost 5 pounds. Turns out, those shakes had chicory root fiber, inulin, and a bunch of sugar alcohols that were wreaking havoc on his gut. We switched him to real food sources of protein: eggs, Greek yogurt, actual meat, and all his problems disappeared within days. Here's what the food industry doesn't want you to know. When they take out fat and sugar to make things healthy, they have to replace it with something to give it texture and bulk. So they load it up with fiber additives and artificial sweeteners. And these additives are really hard on your digestive system, especially as you age. Let me give you some specific examples. Chicory root, inulin, oligofructose, polydextrose. You'll see these on ingredient labels all the time. They're all fiber additives, and they're in everything from protein bars to low-calorie ice cream to fiber-enriched yogurt. And they can cause serious digestive distress in seniors. Bloating, gas, cramping, diarrhea. It's not worth it. Now let me talk about something controversial. Raw salads. I know everyone thinks salads are the healthiest thing you can eat. And if you're 30 years old with a strong digestive system, sure, knock yourself out. But for many seniors, especially those over 70, a big raw salad can actually be one of the worst things you can eat. Think about it. Raw lettuce, raw cabbage, raw carrots, raw peppers, these are all really tough on your digestive system. They're full of insoluble fiber and cellulose that your body has to work really hard to break down. And if your digestive system is already sluggish, if you're not producing enough stomach acid or digestive enzymes, that salad is basically going to sit in your stomach like a rock. I've had patients tell me they eat a salad for lunch and then feel full and uncomfortable for the rest of the day. Or they eat a salad for dinner and wake up in the middle of the night with indigestion. That's your body telling you it can't process all that raw vegetation anymore. And here's the irony. You're eating that salad to get vitamins and minerals, right? But if your body can't break it down properly, you're not absorbing those nutrients anyway. You'd be much better off eating a smaller portion of cooked vegetables that your body can actually digest and pull nutrients from. I always tell my patients, if you love salads and you don't want to give them up completely, fine. But make them smaller. Add some cooked vegetables to them. Put some healthy fat on them like olive oil or avocado to slow down digestion, and pay attention to how you feel afterward. If you feel bloated or uncomfortable, that's your answer right there. Let me talk about another big one. Granola. Oh man, granola. Everyone thinks granola is so healthy. It's got oats, it's got nuts, it's got seeds, It's all natural, right? Wrong. For seniors, granola is basically a digestive disaster waiting to happen. First of all, it's incredibly dense and hard. You're basically eating compressed fiber and fat. Your stomach has to work overtime to break it down. Second, it's usually loaded with nuts and seeds that can be really irritating to your digestive tract, especially if you have any kind of diverticulosis, which a lot of seniors do. Third, it's often sweetened with honey or dried fruit, which can spike your blood sugar and then crash it, leaving you feeling tired and hungry again. I've had patients who switched from granola to a simple bowl of cooked oatmeal with a little butter and some berries, and they couldn't believe the difference. No more mid-morning stomachache. No more feeling sluggish. Better energy throughout the day. Sometimes the simplest foods are the best foods. Now, let's talk about something that might really surprise you: green smoothies. These have become so popular, and I see seniors making them because they think they're getting all these nutrients in one glass. But here's the reality. When you blend up raw kale, raw spinach, raw celery, raw cucumber, maybe throw in some chia seeds and flax seeds and a banana, you're creating this incredibly fiber-dense, hard-to-digest concoction. Your blender might make it smooth, but that doesn't mean your stomach can handle it. In fact, sometimes it's worse, because you can drink it down so fast that your digestive system gets overwhelmed all at once. At least when you eat solid food, you chew it, and it goes down slower. Plus, a lot of those green smoothies have oxalates from the spinach and kale, which can contribute to kidney stones. They have goitrogens that can affect your thyroid. And if you're drinking them on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, they can cause acid reflux and stomach upset. If you want to have a smoothie, fine, but make it gentler. Use cooked and frozen vegetables, not raw. Use fruits that are easier to digest like berries or melon. Add some protein powder that doesn't have a bunch of fiber additives. And don't drink it on an empty stomach. Have it with a meal or after you've eaten something else. Here's another food that surprises people: beans and legumes. Now, beans are supposed to be great for you, right? Protein, fiber, all that good stuff. And for younger people, they are. But for many seniors, beans can cause terrible gas, bloating, and digestive discomfort. The reason is that beans contain oligosaccharides, which are complex sugars that humans can't digest. They sit in your intestines and ferment, creating gas. When you're younger, your gut bacteria might handle this better. But as you age, your gut microbiome changes, and you might not tolerate beans as well as you used to. I'm not saying never eat beans, but if you're eating them every day because you think you should, and you're feeling bloated and gassy all the time, that's probably why. Try cutting back, or try easier-to-digest proteins like eggs or fish instead. Let me tell you about another patient I had. Woman in her late 60s came in complaining about chronic fatigue and brain fog. She was eating what looked like an incredibly healthy diet: quinoa bowls, lots of raw vegetables, green smoothies, bean salads, whole grain everything. She was doing everything right, according to all the health magazines and websites. But when we looked closer, her body wasn't absorbing nutrients properly. Her iron was low, her B12 was low, her vitamin D was low. She was eating healthy food, but her body couldn't extract the nutrition from it because her digestive system was overwhelmed and not working efficiently. We completely changed her approach. More cooked foods, more easily digestible proteins, less fiber, more healthy fats. Within a month, she had more energy. Within 3 months, her blood work was improving. Within 6 months, she felt like a different person. Same amount of food, same calorie intake, but completely different quality of digestion and absorption. This is what I want you to understand. It's not just about what you eat. It's about what your body can actually do with what you eat. And after 65, your body's ability to process certain foods changes dramatically. Let me talk about nuts for a second, because this is another one where people get confused. Nuts are healthy, right? They've got protein, healthy fats, all good stuff. And yes, they are healthy, in moderation, and if your body can handle them. But a lot of seniors eat too many nuts, or they eat them in ways that cause problems. First of all, nuts are really hard to digest. They're dense, they're fibrous, and they have enzyme inhibitors that make them even harder to break down. If you have any digestive issues at all, and most seniors do, eating a big handful of nuts can cause bloating, gas, and stomach pain. Second, nuts are really easy to overeat. A serving of nuts is about a small handful, maybe an ounce, but it's so easy to sit there and eat 3 or 4 ounces without even realizing it. That's a huge load on your digestive system, plus it's a lot of calories and omega-6 fats that can cause inflammation if you eat too much. If you're going to eat nuts, here's what I recommend. Soak them first if you can. It makes them easier to digest. Eat them with a meal, not as a snack on their own. Keep your portions small. And if you notice they make you feel bloated or uncomfortable, cut back or eliminate them for a while and see how you feel. Now, let me address something really important. The myth of superfoods. You've heard about them. Kale, quinoa, chia seeds, goji berries, spirulina, all these exotic foods that are supposed to be miracle foods. And look, they're not bad foods, but they're not magic either. And for seniors, they can actually cause more problems than they solve. Take chia seeds, for example. They're supposed to be great for you, omega-3s, fiber, protein. But when you eat chia seeds, they absorb a ton of water and expand in your stomach. For a senior with a sensitive digestive system, this can cause bloating, cramping, and constipation, especially if you're not drinking enough water with them. Or spirulina and chlorella, these algae supplements that are supposed to detox you and give you energy. But they're incredibly concentrated. They can interact with medications, and they can cause digestive upset, especially in older adults. The truth is, you don't need superfoods. You need real food that your body can digest and use. An egg is a superfood. A piece of salmon is a superfood. Cooked carrots are a superfood. These are foods that have been nourishing humans for thousands of years, and your body knows how to handle them. Let me also talk about meal timing, because this matters more as you age. A lot of seniors skip breakfast, have a light lunch, and then eat a big dinner. This is actually the opposite of what you should do. Your digestive system is strongest in the morning and gets weaker throughout the day. So eating your biggest meal at night means you're asking your weakest digestion to handle the most food. This can lead to indigestion, acid reflux, poor sleep, and poor nutrient absorption. Better to eat a good breakfast with protein and fat, a moderate lunch, and a lighter dinner. Give your body the fuel it needs when it can actually process it. And try to finish eating at least 3 hours before bed, so your stomach has time to empty before you lie down. Here's another thing nobody talks about: the importance of stomach acid. As you age, your stomach produces less hydrochloric acid. This is a big deal because stomach acid is crucial for breaking down protein and absorbing minerals like calcium, iron, and B12. So when you eat a tough, fibrous meal that requires a lot of digestive power, and you don't have enough stomach acid to break it down, that food just sits there. It putrefies, it ferments, it causes problems. This is why so many seniors have acid reflux. It's not too much acid, it's too little acid and poor digestion. Some seniors benefit from taking a digestive enzyme supplement or even a little apple cider vinegar before meals to support digestion. Talk to your doctor about whether this might help you. Let me wrap this up with some practical advice you can start using today. First, keep a food diary for a week. Write down everything you eat and how you feel afterward. You might be surprised at what you discover. That healthy food you're eating might actually be making you feel worse. Second, start cooking your vegetables. Steam them, roast them, sauté them. Make them soft and easy to digest. You'll feel better and absorb more nutrients. Third, focus on simple, traditional foods. Eggs, meat, fish, cooked vegetables, white rice, potatoes, some fruit. These are foods your body knows how to handle. Fourth, cut back on the processed health foods, the protein bars, the fiber-fortified everything, the sugar-free products loaded with sugar alcohols. Just eat real food. Fifth, don't be afraid of fat. Use butter, use olive oil, eat the fat on your meat if you want. Healthy fats help you absorb vitamins, they satisfy you, and they're good for your brain and hormones. And finally, trust your body. If something makes you feel bad, stop eating it, even if it's supposed to be healthy. Your body is the ultimate expert on what works for you. Remember, the goal isn't to eat perfectly. The goal is to nourish your body in a way that makes you feel good, gives you energy, and supports your health. Everything else is just noise.